Good afternoon, guys. Mark McNabb here for another episode of Top Speed Garage. This week, I'm in the 2014 Toyota Corolla LE Eco. And this is the most fuel-efficient Corolla that you can buy for 2014. And I can tell you right up front, it fulfills its intended purpose. EPA lists this thing at 30 mpg city, 35 mpg combined, and a whopping 40 mpg on the highway. That's pretty impressive numbers, and from what I can see over the last few days that I've had this car, it actually lives up to its intended purpose. Now, as far as a daily driver, this car is actually kind of fun. It's really tossable in the corners. In fact, I'm taking one right now, and it's kind of playful. This 1.8 liter, it's not the most powerful engine in the world, obviously, but it does a pretty good job at moving this car. The CVT is kind of a fun killer, but that's obviously how the MPG is so high in this car. But for what it is, I think this car makes a decent little daily driver. Wind noise and rattles and shakes inside the cabin, NHV, well, it's a little bit higher than, let's say, a Cadillac or a Lexus or something like that. But that's not this car's purpose. This car's purpose is to be light and fuel efficient, and it is. But I do have some complaints. Road noise is pretty intrusive in the cabin. Wind noise, not so much, just road noise. It almost feels like the doors aren't padded inside. There's no noise cancellation in any sort of the imagination in the doors. Also, my rear view mirror, anytime I hit any sort of rough pavement at all, it just shakes, and it makes the image in the mirror really hard to see. I'm not sure if that's just on this car, or maybe if that is a whole Corolla thing, but it's kind of annoying. Otherwise, this car feels pretty well built. Dash, center console, the seats, everything has a decent feel to it, especially for the price point. This car lists at $19,400, so I mean, you get a lot of equipment for not a whole lot of money, and it feels pretty good. The center console has this 6.1-inch touchscreen, which has the Toyota Inform system in it. It works pretty well. However, this model doesn't even come with Sirius XM satellite radio, which is kind of a disappointment, but I'm sure that's an option. But the sound system itself sounds a little tingy. It only kind of transmits the highs and mids. There's not a whole lot of bass going on, and it just, you know, it's an inexpensive radio system, and it sounds like it. As far as the AC controls, I love them because they're simple. The AC controls in this car are just so straightforward. There's a rocker panel for the fan speed, 2 buttons for the AC controls, and 1 big knob for the temperature. Everything else, I mean, there's defrost buttons and whatnot like that, but it just works. It works so easily. I actually have steering wheel controls in this car for volume. I can change the layout of the information coming up in this little center display here in the speedometer. I can also change the modes of the stereo via the button over here on the side. Other things about this car. Well, I do have to say I kind of like this color combination. I don't know that I really like it as far as like on a Corolla. I think this would look great on a truck. But the forest green with the tan, like camel colored interior, it looks kind of interesting, and I actually like it. It's very different. It's not your typical sedan color combination. So I think that makes it kind of fun. The CVT transmission. Started to talk about the powertrain. The CVT, that's where my biggest complaints lie. It has the PR in D, and then it has an S for, I guess, sport, and then a B for brake, kind of like the Toyota Prius. The sport just kind of shoves the RPMs up just a little bit. It makes it feel a little bit more sporty. It doesn't really make the car any faster, it feels like, but drive just seems to work just fine. 0 to 60 in this car, I tested it, happened in 10.3 seconds, so it's kind of slow, but it's not bad. It is really noisy getting there, though. The engine screams. screams trying to lug the car to 60. But that 1.8 liter, I know it's bulletproof, and I mean, mileage is its key thing, so I can't complain about it. In the back, rear seat legroom is actually really good. It's hard to complain about that. There's plenty of room up front. There's plenty of room sideways for bigger people. There is, however, not a center armrest that folds down. So if you're on an extended trip and your backseat passengers get a little tired, well, there's nowhere for them to rest their arms. So that's kind of a complaint. But those rear seats do fold 60/40 style flat, so you can haul stuff from the trunk into the cabin. And that trunk itself, it's a pretty good size as well. So, you know, you can haul some fairly, you know, large size luggage, or maybe you're hauling mulch or something like that. You know, whatever your thing is, you can haul it in the trunk. It's pretty nice. As far as the exterior looks of this car, well, Toyota refreshed it for 2014. In fact, this car is new for 2014. So it has a little bit spunkier look on the outside. The inside has this new dash, has the new seats. So it really looks a lot better. It looks more Toyota corporate for 2014 than the 2013 model did. There is a manual transmission option on this car, but you can only get it on the absolute base model or the absolute top of the line S model. So it's both the cheap one and the most expensive one, but a manual is offered. There is also a traditional 4-speed slush box offered, but you only get that as the other option in the base model. The CVT transmission comes in all of the other trim lines. So the LE Eco, that's what I'm driving. Like I say, it does pretty well as far as getting good mileage. It's a good all-rounder. I wish it was quieter. I wish the mirror didn't shake. But I can't complain about 42 mpg on the highway. It's hard to. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope it's informative for you. Be sure to read the rest of the review online. Check out the pictures. And let me know what you think in the comments below. This, again, Mark McNabb for another episode of Top Speed Garage. Guys, take it easy. Have a great week.